All right, we're excited to get going. We actually took advantage of the time and practiced on Friday, which was good. Gave them Saturday off, rehabbed a bunch of kids on Saturday, and then had a really good practice last night. So did a lot of cardio work on Friday, and last night we got after it pretty good. Did a lot of good stuff, and tried to simulate a little bit of game speed, and I thought that went really good as well. So we just try to take advantage of the time. Obviously disappointing we didn't get to play, but somebody that's been on both ends of that situation, I certainly 100% respect Florida State in their decision to do that, because like I said, till you've been on both ends of it, don't really understand the whole thing and stuff. So certainly respect their decision, and hopefully they come back as the whole state of Florida does, and can pick up the pieces and move on as well. So we're excited about playing Southern Miss, excited about being home, really excited about military appreciation game, being able to wear the P40 uniforms, and and playing the first home game of the year for us. It's the kind of football team that we really enjoy, that I'm excited about getting in here. Perennial bowl team, team that's usually close to the top of Conference USA, and a regional game as well. So it's really a big game for us, and I think we know that. Our players know that. Good football team. Really, when you look at them coming in, 24-17 loss to Kentucky, which they certainly could have won that game. Held Kentucky to 250 total yards. Their defense did, and certainly had every opportunity to win that football game. And then really impressive against Southern last week. I mean, jumping out to really 35-0 at the end of the first quarter. Really just jumped all over Southern, and came out and looked like played with a purpose, and looked good doing it. It's a veteran football team. When you look at them, I think they have 13 seniors that are starters on their football team, and have some really good players. I think jumping out to me, when you look at Southern Miss, they have two guys at their skill positions that are as good as any two guys that will play this year. When you look at Edo Smith, the running back, really good football player, and I think he had 19 touchdowns last year, a lot of 150 all-purpose yards a game. He's a senior, and like I said, a really good football player. And the other kid that jumps out at you is, especially when you watch last year, Staggers is a receiver, but he's a taller, athletic receiver. The thing that's impressed me about him is he plays outside, he plays inside, and does both of them very effectively. And he set a New Orleans Bowl record last year for 11 catches and had 202 yards receiving in the first half against Lafayette last year in that bowl game. So, you look at those two kids, they're really impressive, obviously. I think their quarterback's done a really good job. This is his first year. I think he started some games last year when the other one was hurt, but he seems to be a lot more comfortable with what they're doing. And I love what they do offensively. I think they have some good stuff. Shannon was the offensive coordinator at Stephen F. for a long time when we used to play him. Shannon Dawson, I think he does a nice job of moving people around, and always has a nice balance in what they're doing offensively. So that will no doubt be a tough chore in trying to defend those guys. Defensively, long, really, when you look at them, athletic, attack, so to speak, is I think kind of is their mantra. When you look at them, they got really long, good-looking kids, which I like. They're athletic, and they're going to attack us, no question. When you look at what they do, they blitz a lot. They blitz their linebackers a lot. They play a lot of man-to-man, and that's just what they do. So, but like I said, this is for us, an exciting week, home opener. Playing against a team like Southern Miss. Like I said, I'm excited about the game. I'm excited about this type of non-conference game. You have a perennial bowl team coming into Malone Stadium, and it also has some regional feel for us. It's all about recruiting, and so this has some regional feel for us, has some recruiting bang for us, and we're excited about it, no question about it. So, any questions?
I know y'all were disappointed to not play, but at the same time, when you kind of look at the schedule and the way this thing is organized, how beneficial was it to have kind of this, surprise bye week as y'all go through the schedule?
I don't know if it's ever really beneficial this early in the year. I think you need to play. So I don't know necessarily the benefits of it. However, we were able to go out on Friday. We were able to do a lot of rehab on Saturday with some of the guys, and then, get a good practice yesterday. So, we're going to do the best we can to make up for that. I said, I don't think there's anything quite like game speed. And so, we tried to simulate some of that last night. We did good on good. First downs, third downs. We did some blitz pickup stuff. We did 2-minute good on good to just try to basically what we missed Saturday in terms of the speed of the game and the competitive part of it. But we were able to, which hopefully that benefits us, to get some guys back and to work some guys out Friday, to have some guys up here individually on Saturday, which is kind of hard to do at this time of the year, and then get them out on the practice field. So I think guys that definitely would not have played last week, Marcus Hubbard, I think has a chance, which he's going to really help us. Logan Lattin, who was actually starting at Buck safety, who Colin Turner's starting for now. Logan was out last night, and they took part in all this. Austin Vaughn was back out, and so I think he has a chance to play for sure. And no question, Cortez Cisco wouldn't have played last week with his hamstring, but he was able to get out last night and do some things. So those are 4 guys that, we were not going to play, to be honest with you. We weren't. I think Hubbard was close, but, first came back against Florida State after a knee injury. That's kind of tough. Vaughn could have been close. But so anyway, we have an opportunity to get, possibly some guys back, which I'll say that. I mean, we still got to practice all week. And, so you never know. And the way we practice, I mean, we're going to practice. So, you can have guys. Cody McGuire got hurt last week in practice, and he'll miss a couple of weeks. So, but I'm saying moving into the week, from an injury standpoint, we're a little bit better off.
What about RJ and Bags?
Bags, I still don't know about. We'll have to continue to assess him. RJ, I thought was good news after the knee injury. He's not ready yet, but I think he'll be back in the near future. He still can't get out there. But what we initially thought had happened on, at the game itself and walking off the field that night to what it is, we're excited. I know RJ doesn't want to miss a few weeks, but from what we initially thought it was really exciting for us to know that in a few weeks we could get him back.
Hey, Coach, since we last spoke, have there been any discussions with not just Florida State, but potentially filling another open date with another game sometime this season? No,
that's just something that Mr. Floyd and they'll continue to discuss or whatever. But it's as Mr. Floyd said on Friday, it's way too premature. And like I said, if you've been on both ends of it, like I have, it's the number one objective right now for all those people there to get it back going and build it back. I know when we went through it in 2004, we didn't have electricity for 4 or 5 weeks. So the least of our initial concerns moving into it after the storm went through was when are we going to play again? They have to assess what they're doing and looking forward. So I'm sure those discussions will take place later, but right now that's kind of premature for all that.
Kind of looking at on Southern Miss on defense. I guess you could say they base 4-3, but at the same time, traditionally they've usually been pretty multiple in what they do with their fronts and everything. Is that the same this year? Or what they're trying to do?
Yeah, they still are. If you look at them, they list 4-3 people, and they will line up in some 4-down fronts. But this year too, they're about 50-50 in 3-down fronts. They'll play true odd. Then they'll also, line up in some 3-3 stack looks and stuff. So, but it's really pretty much it's all predicated off of pressure. And so regardless of what they're in, we have to be ready for their pressures is really I think the main thing moving forward, trying to attack them.
Coach, you expressed previous concerns with your defense. Stopping guys like Ito Smith and Staggers. How can you stop those guys on Saturday?
Well, you don't just stop them. We have to do a good job, and we have to do a good job of getting multiple guys to the ball to do a good job of tackling Ito. The thing about what I've been impressed with Ito really and Staggers, they do a nice job of moving them around. If you go back, right now, Ito is also the leading receiver after 2 weeks. He's a leading rusher and he's a leading receiver. So they do a nice job of getting him involved in the passing game. And like I said, with a guy like Staggers, what I was noticing and going back through the summer and watching them, I mean, he did different things at different times in the season last year, I guess depending on what they felt like was the best chance to get him to football. So I mean, if you look at it, he'll be the split guy of the field. He'll be the split guy of the boundary, but he could be the inside guy. He could be 2 to the field. He could be 2 to the boundary or 3 to the field. So they do a really nice job of moving him around and trying to get him in positions to get the football. So, you go into a game like this, I never go in saying, hey, we're going to totally shut down somebody, but we got to do a good enough job, of containing them and do a better job really of what we did in week 1 of taking, they're going to make plays, but get them down. Let's let a 10-yard gain stay a 10-yard gain. Let's don't let a 10-yard gain become a 50-yard gain. And I think those are the main things that we have to do against guys like this. They're going to make plays, but, let's try to limit them to yards after contact, however you want to call it. I mean, and like a guy like Staggers, he's a guy that can catch a slant route and run 70 yards with it. He's going to catch a slant route. Let's get him down, and, let's move on to the next down. And those are the main things I think that we have to focus on this week.
You guys have made major strides energizing this fan base. Look at how the importance of this game just to keep that positive vibe going.
I agree, Aaron. I think it's tremendously important to us. We talked to the players about it last night and just let them know that. I mean, I think that there's a lot of things certainly that I think these kids have done a tremendous job, and they've improved a lot of what they're doing and how they're doing it. And this is an opportunity for us in front of our home fan base on Military Appreciation Night to show that and stuff. So I mean, we talked about it at length, and I think they understand. I think the importance of this game. Like I said, I mean, this is a team that's been upper tier. Traditionally, you go back and look through 3 or 4 different coaches Southern Miss has of Conference USA. I mean, they're a good football team. They've done a lot of great things there. Won a bowl game last year, all that stuff. So this is the kind of game we want, and I think this is a really good test to see, how far we have come.
Hey, Coach, I think they use like a 2-quarterback system at Southern Miss. Landre and I forgot the other guy's name. Yeah, how scared for potentially seeing both quarterbacks coming Saturday?
Not really any different. They're pretty similar guys when you look at them and what they do, and we haven't seen really anything. I think they kind of like us. They were letting 2 guys play when you look at them, but we haven't seen anything like they were changing game plans or anything, calling anything any different when you look at it. They're going to be up-tempo. They're going to be predominantly 11 personnel, some 10 personnel type stuff, and they're going to be up-tempo at times, and they're going to look to the sideline, and they're going to recheck. And so they're basically operating and doing the same things, running out of the same personnel with both guys. I mean, both guys are adequate runners, and they can both throw it down the field. So we don't necessarily see anything different.
We made it 15 minutes through this without asking about your quarterback situation. Anything change over last year?
Well, Garrett was going to start the game against Florida State, so we had already made that decision, and so we'll stay with that. And and Caleb will play some as well. So, but we had already made the decision that Garrett was going to start the game. We were going to flip it and give him that opportunity. And and there's no question we're a week behind where we would like to be there. But that's just the way it is. We hopefully, like I said, the intent is to do it the first 2 weeks and kind of be a little bit more certain, but it's just the way it is. So we're definitely a week behind in that situation, but we really like both kids. So.
What did you see in Garrett, I guess, to make that decision over the past week?
I think he got out in the, and I think they both handled the Memphis situation. I really like what thought Garrett did some really good things in the game and in that game as well. But look, it was close between the 2 guys. We wanted to give Caleb an opportunity to start, at Memphis or whatever. We thought he kind of got the nod throughout the course of August camp, but we thought that Garrett did some good things as well and stuff. So, I think that despite me only being around Garrett and Coach Kubik only being around Garrett about 5 games last year until he got hurt, we were also around Caleb. Just kind of felt like we understood a little bit more about him than Caleb, if that makes sense, because when you can go back and watch 9 or 10 games from the year before too, when Garrett is a starter and stuff. So, but we like both guys, but we just we were going to give Garrett that opportunity, last week and stuff. So we're going to stay with it.
The Southern Miss coming in here, is this kind of the blueprint of what ULM fans will see in the future with regional rivalries and more fan bases tied in like that?
I think so, and that's what we've tried to work on, and Mr. Floyd and I will continue to work on that. But that's kind of what Brian and I had worked on really before we left, and trying to the Southern Miss game, the Memphis game. I think in the future, if you look at our future schedules, we won't play both of them in the same year. But it's the way it felt to get them both on the schedule, plus playing 2 Power 5 games and playing both in the same year. If you look at our future schedules, we also have FCS games. Like next year, we go back to Southern Miss. The following year, Memphis comes here. But those are I agree, Aaron. Those are the games I really enjoy. And regional games, you have some recruiting, bang, and then plus, our fans have an opportunity to go there with no problem, and then so do theirs and stuff. So I think it's and that's where we want to be. You look at Memphis. I mean, Memphis over the last 4 or 5 years, when Coach Fuente's got that thing going, I mean, they're doing really good. They're doing good on the field. They're doing good recruiting. They've established, themselves there and stuff. So, and that's where we want to be. You look at Southern Miss; they've kind of done the same thing, over the years, and that's what we're trying to get to. And so, not only are they Group of 5 teams, but they're upper tier Group of 5 teams, and that's what we'd like to try to build this program to as well.
He says a little premature to talk about Florida State, but is there a possibility, or logistically, could you get an FCS team to play you this year?
I have no idea. Like I said, that was, I know for a fact because we've had discussions, but Mr. Floyd will be talking to them, and that's something that, I think all options are going to be on the table for us. But I think now it's premature from what I'm saying, in a sense, in what Florida State is doing and how they're doing it. I mean, the Storm really just went through Tallahassee last night, and I'm sure they'll regroup at some time, and I'm sure those discussions will happen at some time. I know they're going to happen at some time, but right now it's really premature to speculate on what they're going to do.
I think it's interesting. It's for the second week in a row. It's like all roads lead back to the Southland Conference with your opponents. And you got Shannon Dawson.
Yeah.
Coming in here, and he comes from that. He spent some time at West Virginia, from that kind of air raid school. But how much of what you see Southern Miss running is that, and how much of what you remember from when he was at SFA?
Oh, very, very similar. Actually, when he first went to SFA, they were throwing it almost every down, and I see more really of the Dana Holgerson type of deal in what Shannon is doing. I thought he was a really good football coach. I thought he was very innovative, and and came in and brought a different deal. One of my best friends was the head coach at Stephen F. J.C. Harper at the time, and hired him, and then I hired one of their assistants, Landon Hofer, who's the OC at McNeese now, and so I'm very I'm familiar with that. But I think they do a really good job. But yeah, I mean, we know Shannon, have a lot of respect for him. I have 3 guys on my staff that are really close to Jay Hobson. I know Coach Hobson. I've always respected what he did. But Mike and Manny and Stoker, I mean, they're pretty close and stuff. So but that's the nature of the business. When you get these regional games, and there's going to be some familiarity, and that's the nature of it, and it's fun.
Coach, how do you spend your weekend? No football game Saturday.
We rehabbed up here on Saturday for most of the day, and so I wanted to be a part of that with the players and kind of eyeballing them and stuff. So we did that, and then I said I got home and watched football till Washington State won in however many overtimes that was. So I don't even know what time that was, but no, it was different. I mean, to be honest with you, you think about it. Been doing this a long time, and my wife even commented, you're at home for 2 consecutive Saturdays watching football, and I don't think that's ever happened to me, ever. Stuff, coming back from Memphis on that Saturday night, because I gave the coaches and players off Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and then so I was home too, but I guess she's right, because I don't ever remember doing that as well. So it was a little different, but just I love college football. So as much as I like to be playing, gosh, I love to watch college football and stuff, and I saw some great games. Really did. And glad we wasn't defending Baker Mayfield. Again, thanks.